Hello. Welcome, everyone. Hi, thank you for being here. We're just letting the room fill up. Got a few more people trickling in. We are so happy to have you all with us. All right, let's get started. My name is Emily Badix. I serve as the interim director at the Longmore Institute and co-director for the San Francisco Disability Cultural Center. We have some access notes before we dive in. If you'd like more personalized captions from stream text, you can access them at dcc.page/captions. Today's program is a Zoom meeting, so you're invited to, it's going to be a little different than some Zoom meetings. It's not going to be quite as interactive. We're actually going to have videos off. We're going to have chat off, but you can reach out in the chat to the host if you need a little bit of help or tech support. You can also send an email at access@disabilityculturalcenter.org if you need a little more support. We encourage you to use the view function today to choose the view that is speaker. We'll be using the spotlight function. That way you'll see our speakers in the way that is the best view we recommend, but it's also your control. It's my pleasure, now that we've got the access details out of the way, to introduce Antoine Hunter. Purple Fire Crow served as Natasha Thomas's mentor for the Emerge project, and their friendship bloomed from there. And I am very excited that they were both up for being in conversation today to share Natasha's work. Natasha's work has been incredibly exciting for me to learn about. And as I know, we have all had a wild week. I think that there's no better of a program in my mind to get to celebrate all the power of creative art and healing. So I'm really excited to have you here and to hear you two in conversation. So I'm going to introduce Antoine and Natasha.
Hello. Hello, everyone. What a beautiful introduction. Before we get started, I'd like to introduce myself. This is my name sign, Antoine. And I have hats of many colors. I have blue, I have orange, and this is actually my Afro-Cuban culture, Afro-Caribbean culture that I am displaying. I have a beard, I have a gray sweater, I have a blue background. I am in Oakland, California. My home was my Black Bear Party. And I'd like for Natasha to go ahead and explain a little bit of her visual description and introduce herself.
Hello. It's so good to be here with you, Antoine. I have been meaning to just say hi. It's been a really long time. Um, I'm so glad to be sharing this space with you today. My name is Natasha Thomas, and I am a Black Afro-Caribbean person as well. I am wearing a velvet head scarf that is managing my wild mom grays very well, I think, and dangly earrings and sort of a crocodile green long sleeve t-shirt. I live and work in Indianapolis, Indiana, so I am in the Midwest where it is too cold I wish I could be where the sun was shining and there were waves crashing up on a beach. It would be lovely. But excited to be here with you all today.
What's the temperature like right now?
Oh, we're above zero, finally. 19 degrees. I just checked. But yesterday it was 2.
Really? Wow. Wow. Wow, that is so recently I just flew in from Colorado and it was 15 degrees negative at 9,000 feet. I don't know how you guys survive out there. Um, but I guess we practice our art to keep ourselves warm and connected. Isn't that right?
It is.
So, your background is very diverse. It's not just one, you have a very diverse background. And I was wondering, how do I know your bio, but you identify yourself as what? Could you explain a little bit about yourself?
I like to say that I am a child of shipwreck and volcano. It's a way of referring to the island that my parents are from, St. Vincent. It has an active volcano on it, and it also has this origin story of a shipwreck where a Dutch slave ship crashed on the coast, and the indigenous peoples came down to the shore, rescued all of the enslaved Africans on the ship, and killed everybody else. And I, you know, I use that as a reference for myself to acknowledge all the complexity of my history, of all of our histories, really, but that's a particular element of my own history that's complex. I also use it as a sort of elemental way of referring to my process too. Volcanoes are just something that feels very, very dear to me, that idea of something just constantly bubbling below the surface and ready to go when the time is right, when it knows it's time to erupt, to bring whatever needs to come forward. And so that feels like the best description of me that could exist. But on paper, I also have things like a PhD in expressive therapies, a board certification in music therapy. I got the fancy letters too.
Okay, okay. I don't have my PhD yet,
Mm,
but go ahead. Go
okay.
ahead.
I could see it. I could see it.
So when you got your PhD, did you feel like you were ready to go through the journey, or were you already ready before you got your PhD?
That's a really good question. I think so. Before I got the PhD, I had a master's in special education, which is not a term I even like, but it was indicative of where I was at the time. I was working within the profession of music therapy at a school for the blind, and really liked doing clinical work. And I had started teaching and supervising some music therapy students, and the PhD felt like the next thing you do, that you're supposed to do if you want to continue teaching and, get the degree and everything. So I didn't fully know what I was signing up for when I signed up for the PhD. I did not expect it to be like, I knew it would be a transformative journey on an educational level, but it got me on like a spiritual level. Like, it opened so many parts of me, not
Mm,
not all that were intended, I think, by the education system. Like, some of it was me realizing how messed up some of the systems are. Um, things that you just think about cognitively, but then you're like, wow, this is actually really hard for a Black femme to make it in this world. And so I started to realize how much I needed my own creativity as my own medicine more deeply than I ever thought. Like I just thought it was something I was good at and something that I used that helped people. And then I realized, oh no, I need this. I'm doing this for me. And so it was like midway through the PhD that I started to really like get serious about the personal transformation that was happening. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, I see you're serious. You are
So
serious.
serious because it's like after that PhD, then I had
Well, it's like you dove into
yeah.
that academic level and you progressed and you saw yourself and said, I don't like what I'm seeing here. I don't
Yeah.
like what I see that's in front of me. I want more.
Yeah.
More. I feel like I need
Yeah.
more. My soul needs to be
Yeah.
nourished.
Yeah. Because
You
it's
know,
like,
I need to bake everything and, not just this tech, this hashtag, and this microwave food where it's branded and it's not cooked and you know what I'm saying? So it you have become in your soul, you took a journey.
yeah.
It was a soul journey. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So it was a spiritual journey, I see.
Yeah.
And so once you've arrived to that place, your artwork,
Mm.
is that where you also yeah, I see where you took a look at yourself. And
Mhm.
as your work has progressed, do you feel like that it's healing? And who's it healing? Are you healing
Mm.
yourself? Your community? Who are you healing?
Yeah, that's an excellent question too. So the short answer is everybody I can reach. But
Well,
the long answer is
PhD, you're
right with my
you're the one who has the PhD. I'm just playing.
That's all right. That's all right. The longer answer is that, after I got the PhD, I had a baby. And that transforms you too. And I started to really think about lineage and what I was passing down and how healing me was also healing my inner child, was healing the child I had just had at that time, was healing ancestral, wounds that went way back, generations back. And now I have two kids. Um, and I feel like there's never going to be a destination of any kind, that healing is just a process that I am on and that I invite others to join me on in whatever way holds truth for them. I hope that the things that, I put together and offer feel like they're accessible from multiple points. Um, Not just in like a disability justice way, because I do want that. I do want things to be accessible in that way, but also in a soul kind of way. Like whatever way you make meaning in the universe, I want you to feel like I'm trying to help you find that. Like I'm not trying to tell you do it this way. I'm just showing you the path I took and all the other possible paths that you could take.
And we're going to switch interpreters one moment.
Mhm.
Wow, incredible interpreter. All right, moving on. So I understand how you're talking about how you found your way, you had your spiritual journey, how you healed. Basically, you had that inner transformation to heal yourself. And my question to you is, what was the result of that, especially in terms of how it impacted your work? Um, I'll call you Dr. Natasha Thomas. Um, so basically, when thinking of how doctors do tests, I'm wondering how I don't even think test is the right word. Let me instead ask you like about your outcomes. Like, how did you benchmark? How did you use metrics for, how did you measure what the impact was to your work and the outcome?
That's a good question. You got so many good questions. I, so the process that I engaged in as a researcher is arts-based research. And so I find that as a creative approach and as a therapist, that those things align really well. So the sort of diagnostic process that an arts-based researcher uses is to ask questions like what emerges when, or what is the nature of something. And so I asked myself first, sort of, what is the nature of healing? What is healing to me? And I would ask that question multiple times of myself. And so I would do something like put my pen down to a piece of paper and write for 2 minutes without lifting my pen off the paper. And then after that quick write, I might go identify a few words that I had written down that felt critical. And then those words might get turned into a piece of visual art or a song lyric. And the idea for the album sort of gradually emerged from there, because I was thinking about, maybe this is a book of poetry, maybe this is a book of visual art. And the more I thought about it, the more I was like, this could be an interactive, like, whole body experience if I want it to be. And so having an album that has described videos to go with every track, so that it can be engaged with in a visual way, that it can be engaged with in a body-based way, felt really important. And so the impact was like, each time I asked myself a new question, the results got more and more multidimensional, which I think is kind of what healing is too, that when you start to ask yourself questions about who you are and how you function, as much as the idea of functioning can be complex, you start to see yourself with more dimensions, and you start to see yourself with a little bit more compassion, and you start to be able to move through the world just a little bit more gently because you love you a little bit more.
Yeah,
Right?
I hear you. Absolutely. Wow, that just really is moving. I feel that. I feel that love. Um, so I was just remembering, yeah, just in terms of how you are almost like a therapist, how you help people. That's like really part of your work, being a music therapist. And I think it's brave work. I mean, that whole journey. I mean, people could easily say, how is music therapy going to do anything? But you are able to explain it in such a way and analyze it in such a way. Like, I remember you talking about how you create a safe space for people to come together, to hear the music, to just really look at it at a deep level, give feedback on it. And it's not just music, it's so much more than that. And I believe that you founded an organization called Black Creative Healing Project, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. So, oh, go ahead.
Oh yeah, just oh, you're saying go ahead. Yeah. My question is, I'm just thinking about, maybe you can share with the audience what your work looks like. I've had the pleasure of being able to enjoy it, but I'm wondering if you could try to explain that to our audience. Like, what would you say the first thing is that people would see and hear?
Yeah. So we've got some music videos to share, 3 of them, for the 3 tracks that were released in November. So a little over a year to get those 3 tracks out. But the first one that, yeah, it takes the time it takes, right?
Congratulations, though. Woohoo! You
Thank
go,
you.
girl.
It takes the time it takes. The first track is an invitation and a story of sorts to sort of let your mind become comfortable with this idea of exploration. into yourself. So the first video is just black background, white text. And I will say, as sort of setup to the first video, that the audio in the beginning, I do need to make some repairs. The audio is a little bit soft in the beginning with the voiceover. But I'm happy to, amplify it with my own voice if need be. And I know for sure the sound does get fixed within the first 10 to 15 seconds. Yeah. I'll go ahead with
Right.
the first track.
Yeah, let's see it. Awesome.
In early 2023, I had a dream. I was surrounded by sights and sounds, some familiar, some unfamiliar. Breathing into the moment, I found myself waiting for instructions.
Feel your body. Just notice the flow of air in and out. Remember that your body is always there for you. When you are ready, join us.
Join us, an offering from Black Creative Healing. It was midday, and I was in a park. Sculptures, fountains, and pools were all around. But I was avoiding the water. I'm not sure why. A dark-skinned priest approached and encouraged me to step into a nearby pool. I obeyed because I trusted him for some reason. The water was warm and inviting, not too deep for me either, but the pool was strange with steps spiraling down from its edges to the center, where a tall, cylindrical structure, contents unknowable from the exterior, called to me like an underwater lighthouse. The water somehow shallowed as you descended the steps, which I did, slowly, with no small amount of trepidation. By the time I reached the center bottom of the pool, the water barely lapped at my heels. It spilled gently into drains at the foot of what I soon realized was a door. A door to a room at the center of a pool. What was inside that room, I still don't fully understand, but I know it was meant for me, and I must make sense of it. The album cover for the Black Creative Healing album appears on the screen. Pink text laid over a multicolored Sankofa heart and brightly colored background. The screen fades back to black with white text reading blackcreativehealing.com.
Yes.
So that's track 1.
Boom. Yes. Wow. And I have to say that I could feel the water. I mean, absolutely. I could just feel all the elements in that. I mean, as Black people, we're one with water, just through those times of slavery and all that's happened. And it's like, should we be afraid of our history, of everything that's happened? Or should we reclaim it? Should we use it as a path to healing?
Mm-hmm.
So just, wow, thank you so much for the what you added in terms of your words. I know you have 2 more. That's just one of 3 pieces. Should we perhaps watch it first before you talk about it, or do you want to talk about it first?
We can move to the next one and let the flow sort of go. I'm down with that.
Love it.
The next track is titled Give It a Name. And this track takes things into another dimension. Yes, yeah.
If I may,
Please.
I was just wondering, what are you hoping that people will get from this? And also, do you think that people should move around, or should they stay seated?
I was just gonna say, if people feel comfortable with this next one, to give yourself, like, if it helps to bring some touch to your own body, I usually like to go on my chest and then maybe one hand on my diaphragm lower, and see what emerges when the music starts. If you feel a torso movement, go with it. If you feel like just sitting here and feeling your breath, go with it. But really let yourself hear the words on the next one, and take the rest of your body into the journey that your brain already started. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
let's do it.
Awesome.
What's that feeling that greets you in the morning? That sensation that follows you through the day. Is it pain? Name it. Pain. Say it. Pain. Give it a name, child. It's okay to give it a name. Is it pain? Name it. Pain. Say it. Pain. Give it a name, child. It's okay to give it a name. Now listen. What's that feeling that greets your every misstep? That sensation that calls you out your name. Is it shame? Name it. Shame. Say it. Shame. Give it a name, child. It's okay to give it a name. Is it shame? Name it. Shame. Say it. Shame. Give it a name, child. It's okay to give it a name. Give it a name. Give it a name. to the center till you can discern just what you need. What do you need to give it a name? I feel you find it in your hands, maker. To give it a name, sing and just let it sound will do. Give it a name, map your as you find on your center till you can discern just what you need. What do you need? What is it? What is it? I feel you find it in your hands, maker. Sing your way, let it sound will do. Say it, map your light on your center, discern just what you need. What do you need? What is it? What is it? Your hands make any sound will do. Say it, let the meaning find you. What do you need? Let the meaning find you. What do you need?
I love watching you move to
I
that.
mean, that was church right there. That was church. Yes. Well, I hope the audience felt that.
Yeah,
I felt it.
yeah.
You know, I can't remember how many times I've heard it,
Mhm.
seen it, or feel it. I don't know how many times, but every time, thank you.
Thank you.
I feel that we need to have a right to name it.
Mm.
You know, I don't know what the word is, the name, the experience, it's okay. It's okay to go on that journey. We need this space to confront our feelings.
Mhm.
And how do we do that? And you have led us with the voice, and not just the voice, but a voice. And it's a guide in that space. And it's a shared space to share my
Mm.
voice. Wow, that was
Mhm.
powerful.
Thank you.
That was powerful album,
Thank you.
powerful music. It's powerful.
Mm.
Every time I just process healing.
Yeah.
Either I'm halfway there or if I'm completely there, just thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And what's interesting about that track, I will say, to set up the next one, is that this track was always track 2. Like, I always knew that this was going to be in the center of the EP. But what I didn't know was that the first song I wrote for the album would not be the first track. So the next track that we're heading into is the first one that I wrote, and it's the one that I shared at the symposium for the Emerge Fellowship in 2023, before my second child was born. And it was after that premiere that I had my second child, and then everything stalled. because I could not figure out what track 3 was supposed to be.
Understood. Right, right.
And it took me forever to realize you already released track 3. This little thing you were working on the side is track 1. And I'll share a little bit more about why after we hear this track. But what I think about track 3 that feels important for people to know going into it is that this is meant to be another doorway, and it's not the end of the album. There's more music that will be coming. But this track is meant to be a place where you can contextualize whatever might have come up for you in that last song. So the title of it is Oh My Many Mothers, and it's an ode to the ancestors that we have had, and the spirits that move alongside us, whether you conceptualize spirit as something specific or not. But yeah, this is meant to sort of help us realize that if you had big feelings in that second track, scary feelings, overwhelming feelings, whatever they were, that you are part of a massive lineage of people who have lived and who will live, and that you can just breathe into that and let it carry you.
The screen is filled with a shade of pale seafoam green and blue. Watercolor paint splatters onto the surface in a slightly darker shade, punctuating each footstep, while the deep exhales being heard are accompanied by long horizontal strokes of the same color from left to right, each one placed slightly above the other.
Oh, my many mothers.
Another horizontal brushstroke is made, this time in a shade of purple.
Oh, my many fathers.
The purple brushstroke bleeds into the original seafoam as more splotches of purple appear.
Oh, my precious spirit.
Colors continue their slow swirl into each other.
I welcome your wisdom today. My many more.
A streak of blue crosses the top of the screen.
Oh, my many fathers.
Blue swirls into the seafoam.
Oh, my precious spirit.
Colors continue to fade into each other.
I welcome your
Streaks continue.
wisdom today, my many mothers.
A streak of yellow descends.
Oh, my many fathers.
And begins to circle the screen.
Oh, my precious spirits.
The yellow spirals towards center.
Welcome your wisdom today, my many mothers.
The yellow streaks more animatedly.
Oh, my many fathers.
Colors zigzags across the screen.
Oh, my precious spirits, I welcome your wisdom today, my many mothers.
Swirls of yellow continue to dominate.
Oh, my many fathers.
The screen is now almost entirely yellow.
Oh, my precious spirits,
The color
I
intensifies.
welcome your wisdom today. I welcome your wisdom today.
Footsteps return with watercolor splotches and a deep peachy pink.
I welcome your wisdom today.
The camera camera begins to zoom out. As it does, we see a more textured brushstroke in the original seafoam green color, swirling an S-shaped spiraling pattern along the left center of the screen. The pattern is mirrored on the right side of the screen as we begin to see the full app being used to craft this painting. The swirling mirrored S-shapes form a Sankofa heart. A color wheel appears and a deep blue is selected for the textured brushstrokes, overlaying the original seafoam green to double on the shape of the Sankofa heart. The screen shifts abruptly to a final version of the painting, cropped to a square shape overlaid with the words Black Creative Healing, the album. As the screen fades to black, we see the words Coming, 2024.
Again, church. Church.
Thanks.
I felt, is it okay that I share what I'm feeling?
Please, yeah, let's do it.
I feel like I just need to go and walk outside and just ask my ancestors. Like, I need support. I need,
Yeah.
I myself, I need to find out if I'm on the right path.
Mhm.
Lend me your strength. Keep me courageous.
Mm.
Is that right?
I mean, I think so. I think it's right because it's true, to you. Like it's what you experienced and what you felt led to do, or to what you felt led in your spirit to hear, you know? And I think that's going to be different for everybody.
Right, right, yeah. Because I mean, you were saying so many mothers, and I'm thinking of fathers, and not just mine, but others who I've connected with, like me, Antoine. Obviously I'm deaf, and I still try to feel that connection to the music and the voices and the singing, and I do feel a connection. So, you know, sometimes I want to see what people type in the chat and like get them to write one word describing how they feel. But I'm like, no. I want it to be more accessible so people can choose whatever medium. But really, would love to know what the community feels as well. I'm very interested in knowing more about that. But before that, what's next for you? Because I mean, these songs seriously rock. I mean,
Thank you.
big time. So I would love to know what's next for you.
It's another great question. So something that you might not know, Antoine, is that after the year of completing the music, these songs were technically done in like March of 2024. I think was when I shared that last one with you, and you were like,
Congratulations.
thanks. But I sat on it for a really long time because I was making some big life decisions. I stepped away from teaching at the collegiate level and moved entirely into community-based work. So I've got some private gigs that I have, some groups that I run.
Right.
I want to open up more. I want to have more opportunities for people to engage with the album in a really tangible way. And so there will probably be some events coming, some song circles coming up, where we'll have opportunities for people to be on camera, with me to whatever level they're comfortable, moving in their own spaces, using their voices in their own spaces, and really sort of encouraged through the album in an even deeper way than we did here. And we will probably also have some like opportunities where people can book with me for one-to-ones. I like to use song and music as a divination tool of sorts to like sit with what are the songs that are coming up for you over and over again, that like you'll be out in the grocery store and it'll come on. And you're like, why is this song following me? Let's explore that. I want to be able to have one-to-one opportunities like that too. So yeah, right now I feel very much in the space of that last track of like, all right, ancestors, it's out now. Because I think that's also part of why it took me so long to release. I was a little bit scared, of like opening that door and being ready for whatever was going to come through, So even like of the things I listed, there might be more. We
Aw,
don't know yet,
I feel that.
but I'm open.
Yeah. Just amazing work that you do. I mean, I deeply appreciate the wisdom that comes through, your courage, the way you lead in this creative space. So a few minutes left. So with the time remaining, I see people talking in the chat, talking about how much people are saying, I've already had so much healing and feeling of restoration, transformation, feeling reaffirmed. So happy to have caught this program. And while I'm talking, if anyone has a question that you want to ask Natasha, please feel free to put it in the chat. Maybe we can pose one or two of your questions. Please go ahead and type it in the chat. Yeah, not sure if anyone wants to turn on the camera to be able to sign, but in any case, Dr. Thomas, I'm wondering, where can we find your work? Do you have a website? Do you have Instagram, Facebook, other channels? Like, where can we find you?
Yeah, I have a website. I co-curate the Black Creative Healing Project with another music therapy colleague named Adenike Webb. And so we have a website, blackcreativehealing.com, and that's where you can find, there's links to the album tracks on Spotify. There's also, I'll be putting the videos in there soon. Y'all got to see them here first. Like, they are not public yet, but they will be soon. You can subscribe to a newsletter that I hope to be using more regularly, because social media right now is something else.
Right?
I log into Instagram and I'm instantly stressed. But we have one. The handle is at Black Creative Healing.
I'm
But
right there with you with the stress.
I mean, yeah, I think the website and the newsletter is going to be where it's at for a minute. But there is also a Patreon. And folks who, came to this event, if you wanted to send us an email, yeah, there's the website in the chat right now, but our email is blackcreativehealing@gmail.com. And especially if you're somebody who is Black, who identifies as a part of the African diaspora, let us know, because we also have a private Discord server for Black creatives. So there's also that space too, and that's totally free. So yeah, I see a question in the chat. What is a Sankofa heart? I'd love to hear more about that. So I love this question. You know how I talked about songs that follow you? The Sankofa heart is a symbol that follows me. It wasn't made for me. It's not like Natasha's symbol, but it feels like it sometimes. So the Sankofa bird is a familiar figure to a lot of Black folks, particularly those from West Africa or those descended from the western coast of Africa. So usually you'll see it as a bird whose head is angled backwards over its body, because the phrase Sankofa means go back and retrieve it, go back and find it. And so I refer to it frequently in healing justice work as the practice of bringing from the past, you know, your awareness and looking forward with it, like holding that awareness in you as you look forward. And there are American indigenous cultures that have similar theories as well. So Sankofa is that theory of go back and retrieve it. And the Sankofa bird is the image you usually see. But sometimes you'll also see the Sankofa symbol just as the swirls, and they'll be mirrored next to each other in that heart shape. So when they're mirrored like that, they're called a Sankofa heart. But that pattern of the heart and even just of the bird, of the half the heart, is one that I have tattooed on my ankle, and I put it there before I knew what it was. I just was like, this is pretty. And then years later, I learned what it was. But yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
Mhm.
Yeah. I was wondering if you would have any other questions from the chat, but I want to just go ahead and just thank you. Just want to say thank you so much for sharing this with me and asking for me to have this conversation with you here on this platform. Any last words for the audience to hear from you? Anything I haven't covered yet that you want to express?
Oh, that's tough because there's so much to say. And also so much to not say too. Sometimes you got to just like let a thing sit and marinate and breathe. But I will say, because I sort of set it up earlier and then hadn't completed the thought, you know, I talked about the order of the tracks, and how the order that I originally planned wasn't the order that they came out in. I think that's part of the process too, is that where you think you're supposed to start may not be where you're supposed to start. Where you think you're supposed to get may not be where you think you're supposed to get. And that the best thing, if there is a best thing you can do for your own healing journey, is to just be open to it taking the time that it takes, to the path that it is meant to take to unfold in front of you, and to be okay with not having all the certainty in the world about where you're going or what it's going to look like when you get there. You know, I think that's the hardest part, and somehow also the most important part.
Yeah, absolutely. I believe that we have your website, and you're also available on Spotify. Is that correct?
Yeah, yep. And I saw someone was trying to find us, couldn't find us, and then did. That's kind of the way with our stuff too, because we're still kind of small, you know, like we're still kind of small potatoes. You really got to dig.
Yeah.
But we're
Yeah. So just really looking forward to seeing you on other platforms out in the world. We need to get you out there more. And I think that I just really want people to I just know what a partner you are to our community, and I want to thank the Longmore Institute on Disability for having us. A lot of people don't know, so I'll just say it again. My name is Antoine Hunter, Purple Fire Crow, director of the Urban Jazz Dance Company. It's been a tremendous honor to be able to have this conversation with you, Dr. Natasha Thomas. You're a brilliant, beautiful human being and soul. And I just have to say that for all of you who are watching, please do go to Instagram, go to her website, and don't stop the love here on the chat. Keep it going. And, you know, we're all artists, so monetary support helps too. It's all good, you know. We need to support each other. Absolutely. So again, thank you so much. Just congratulations. Looking forward to seeing more from you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Antoine.
And so I want to turn it back to Emily Betix.
Wow, what an amazing hype person that was. That was amazing. Thank you so, so much, Natasha. You brought beautiful art and care and healing into our community today. Thank you. Thank you, Purple Fire Crow, for your mentorship and your support for this project. Thank you to our Access team for making this program accessible to all of us today. And now a bunch of names for the folks behind the scenes who made this possible. This was presented by the San Francisco Disability Cultural Center, a collaboration led by LC and Lily Cox Haven of Hope, with support from the Paul K. Longmore Institute on Disability at San Francisco State University. And it's all made possible thanks to financial contributions from the City of San Francisco's Human Service Agencies, Department of Disability and Aging Services. So we hope that you will join us for more programs coming your way soon. We have a Cafe Crip at the end of the month on surviving ableism. We have a whole lot of programs coming up on intimacy and sexuality. We even have a slow dating event we've got planned. So check out our link tree for ways to learn more about our February and our end of January programs. That's at dcc.page/links. And that's it. Thanks everyone for being with us today. Good night.
Thank you. Good night, everyone. Love to you all.